Good morning, everyone. Here we go.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE 1. And now...
Yes. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig, and of course this is the most important Steve Kane show of the week because this is not just our live morning show, because we're on the air weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, but also our overnight rebroadcast that airs 7 nights a week. This one, midnight till 6 a.m., will air all weekend long, and just on our radio stations. I'm not including iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, my YouTube channel, SteveKaneShow.com, our radio station app, and all the other places that carry this program with and without our permissions. Just on our radio stations, this Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show will air a total of 35 times before we return live to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best, but they're all great, aren't they? Welcome to the program. If you are new, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show on the planet Earth, I promise you that. And I'm going to throw a question out to you guys that I'm going to ask throughout the program today. I don't want to dedicate the whole show to this, but I do want to hear your feedback. I want listener feedback to this question. And regardless of your answer to this question, I would like to hear your explanation. When I am watching cable news, I primarily watch Newsmax TV, and you should too. But I do watch a little bit of Fox. I do watch not just Fox, but I'll flip around to CNN. No MSNBC for me. I can't handle MSNBC. But I do flip around to see what's going on. But when I'm watching a panel show on Fox, for example, the 5 or outnumbered, when they have a liberal on, I have not only zero interest in hearing what the liberal has to say about the issues. Never used to be that way for me. This is something that's new. Not only am I not interested in what they have to say, I flip the channel. Really, it used to be fun and games debating with liberals, but I'm not interested in that anymore. So I want to ask you this, and we've not arrived at a decision on this. Steve and I have not even discussed this. This is just something that popped into my mind yesterday. I was watching one of our listeners. I have a video app that I use. It's called Marco Polo, and I have a group there, Brian Craig fans, on this Marco Polo app. The app's completely free, and it's a place where those of you that are listeners of the program can make your own video messages, and we have a whole community there. Sometimes I link it up in the YouTube live chat room. And I was watching one of our listeners yesterday. She said, the left have everything. They're everywhere. They control the media, they control the messaging, and she's not really interested in hearing it. And we did, because this was not done because of politics, but we had a liberal caller who shall not be named by me right now. We had a liberal caller a couple days ago go so far over the line that they've been banned from the program. They said something that was so inappropriate, and we have a very short banned list on this program. You really have to really go over the line to receive a permanent ban from the Steve Kane Show, because we're very tolerant and open-minded here. It was a liberal person. My question to you is, should we not entertain calls from liberals on the program any longer, or should we? Now, you don't have to be a conservative to answer this question because we've not made any changes, but should we talk to Democrats? Should we talk to liberals or not on the program? Now, that's not the main topic of the show today. There's a lot of things going on I am going to talk about, but I do want to hear your feedback on this. You are the consumers of this program. You are the listeners of this show, whether you're listening on the radio, on an online app, watching me on YouTube. You are our customer, right? If this was a store, you'd be our customer. So now I know the way that retail works these days, that the people that work in stores think that the customer is not always right, but the customers are there to serve the employees, and they seem rather bothered when you go to retail stores most of the time. Unless you're at Hobby Lobby, they treat you pretty good over there. But outside of Hobby Lobby, good luck. Good luck. I do want to hear your calls giving me not only your answer to this question, but explaining it. Should we not talk to Democrats? Should we not talk to liberals on the phones? Yes or no, and why do you come to that conclusion? 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Now, you can be a Democrat, you can be a liberal to reply to this question. I've got thoughts on it, which I'm not sharing with you right now because I don't want my opinions to influence yours on this one. I want to hear your personal thoughts, not being influenced by me or someone else. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. And, you know, the way that this thing kind of started, it used to be in talk radio and in television that there was an equal time rule. That was the law of the land. President Reagan ended this. And what that meant was, if you had a liberal viewpoint, you had to have a conservative viewpoint. If you had a liberal viewpoint on something, you had to have the opposite viewpoint on it. It was regulated. That's why it used to be, if you remember, you don't see this so much anymore, but local news used to have editorials by the general manager or the owner of the station. Remember those? Like some management guy would give you an editorial at the end of a newscast, and then every once in a while, you would get a response from a viewer. Remember those? Yeah, they don't do that anymore. At least I haven't seen it in a long, long time. That's why they used to do that, because of the equal time requirements that no longer exist. And, you know, Steve and the people that I started under in talk radio, they worked for most of their careers during this equal time thing. So to do a talk show like this, you were required, not only were you required, you had to keep records to prove it to the FCC at any particular moment in time. Like, for example, if we are talking about, I'll take it out of the big issues of the real controversial ones today, some of which we're going to talk about, but say Cuba, right? Cuba freedom. If we were talking about Cuba becoming a free democracy on the program, back in the days of equal time, you were required to have someone that wants Cuba to live under communism. That was the requirement. So that no longer exists. So I want to hear your thoughts on this throughout the program today, but I don't want to just hear yes or no. I want to hear your explanation to come to that conclusion, all right? And I'm not saying we're making any changes to the program. We're not. I haven't even talked to Steve about this. Steve would probably not even want me to bring this up. Steve and I didn't talk this morning before I went on the air. I was going to run this by him, but we did not catch up to one another before the program today. All right, our number is toll free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. I did catch Outnumbered yesterday a little bit, and one lucky guy was Ben Shapiro, and I took a picture of the TV screen, put it up on my TikTok, if you guys follow me on TikTok. And I have never seen the panel of women on Outnumbered look so annoyed at the guy that was the one lucky guy on Outnumbered as they were with Ben Shapiro yesterday. Did any of you catch this? Oh my goodness. Kennedy looked like she was physically ill. The expressions on her face when she wasn't talking. And the other ladies there too. It was pretty hilarious if any of you caught that. But I'm going to bring up a lot of topics today. Don't worry, but I want to hear your thoughts on that question I just asked. 1-888-GO-KANE-1, K-A-N-E, and the number 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Yes, hi Brian, good morning. This is John in Welling.
Hey, John.
To answer your question, my initial knee-jerk reaction was no, don't allow them on the air. But then I thought about it for a minute, and I have to vote yes. Definitely let them on, definitely let them speak, so that the rest of your listeners, the rest of the world, can hear what wackos they really are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You know, see, when these liberals are on other programs, radio and television, I don't think that their feet are held to the fire like we do here on this program. We question everything from all of our callers, conservatives too, but liberals are treated a little differently around here. They're just not allowed to get on the air and spew their talking points. That's why they get so upset and pissed off and result in getting banned like one did the other day by going way the hell over the line. There was one person who called in yesterday who was new that I dumped. You guys didn't hear it on the radio. Was one of the more outrageous things somebody has ever said to me on the radio. You know, so liberals are not in a joyful mood these days. They're in a destructive mode.
Well, they're always in a destructive mode. They have a scorched earth mentality. If they can't have everything their way, they would rather destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Milton. When God sent the devil down into Hades, he said, "I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven."
That's right.
That's basically that's their mentality.
Yeah, you know what? That is that's a very good analysis of the modern day liberals. That's absolutely right. All right, John in Wellington, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, we're going to take our first break of the day. And I am going to bring up some topics. Don't worry, there's a lot of things going on in the news, but that's going to be a running question throughout the program today. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. All right, let's take our break. We'll be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
President Donald Trump here. When Melania and I put our heads down at night, it's on a MyPillow. And when we order MyPillows, we always use the best promo code KANE at checkout at MyPillow.com. That's KANE for huge savings. That's promo code KANE at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Yes, we are back. 18 minutes after the hour. It's also Open Phones Light. What I mean by that, anything and everything you have on your mind that is relevant to the news cycle and the conversation that's going on in America today is Open Phones. It is I don't like to say Open Phones Friday because Rush kind of coined that, but it's Open Phone Friday, so long as you're relevant to the conversation as well. All right, let's take another call or two. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
It's Greg, the voice of reason.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I know you love that, Brian, now, because you think it's condescending and I think I'm better than others, but you're absolutely wrong. But you know what?
Oh, you're not better than other people.
Of course I'm not.
Oh, okay, so are you below average when it comes to most people? Above average intelligence? Where would you rate yourself?
Above average.
You're above average, so you're better than most people.
I'd say in my estimation, but I could be wrong.
Okay, all right, so Greg just said he's not better than everyone, just better than most.
Brian, you have lost it. You are losing.
I know. That's why you have the condescending tone.
No. Listen, first of all, the way you were crying about not going to Disney World, oh my God, a grown adult can't bring his wife to Disney.
It's our 25th wedding anniversary. I'm sorry, it's a special occasion.
You can go to Key West. You can go to the Bahamas.
My wife can't fly nor leave the country, and she can't go into beach climates.
You don't have to fly to go to Key West.
She can't be in the car for 4 hours.
Oh, it's 3 hours, by the way.
Depends on traffic, and then when you come back. Anyway.
Why don't look, you know what?
Are you going to be condescending and disagreeable about everything? I mean, you're taking issue with my wedding anniversary plans even. That's what I'm talking about.
You're the one that was like...
All right, why'd you call today? People...
You wanted a response to, all of a sudden now, you don't want to hear opposing...
I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. I said that I've gotten feedback. I've gotten... Slow down, Greg. Slow down, or I'm going to hang up on you, okay? I'm not your secretary. You can't talk over me. Okay. Fine. I didn't say that we are not going to take calls from liberals. I have gotten feedback from listeners that said that we shouldn't. I didn't say I don't want calls from liberals.
So let's
I'm not sharing my thoughts right now on it.
Why? You're afraid to say it because I don't want to. You don't want.
Oh, I'm afraid. That's why I brought it. If I was afraid, let's just play this out. Dr. Lemaski's coming in today. Maybe she'll come in on the show and do some. Yeah, and you're welcome to call back for some free therapy because you need it. But so let's play this out logically, Greg. I'm afraid to tell what I think. If I'm afraid of the topic, why did I bring it up on the radio? I opened the show with it. If I was afraid of the question and the answers, I wouldn't have even brought up the topic. That doesn't even make sense.
No, to placate, to appease your listeners. Oh my God, my listeners. You listen, your job is to get listeners, to make money, to sell my pillows. That's your job. And all of a sudden you said, oh my God, I'll bring this up because my listeners want me to, and I will need to keep my ratings up, and I need to sell my pillow mattresses and towels and etc.
What, is that a bad thing? Is endorsing products and services a bad thing to you?
No.
I mean, you sound like I'm some kind of low-life guy that we... Well, of course, the purpose of everything that is broadcast, not just on radio but television, is to have is advertising, sure, marketing.
You asked me the reason you brought up the topic, so your listeners, okay, I'll make them happy. They'll buy more of my services. I'm going to bring up this.
You were so out of your mind. You were really a twisted guy.
You know what? You really think you walked out of your house with a robot not knowing it?
Yeah, I did. Now you're calling me a liar. No, I did.
But I am. That's what I am calling you.
Okay. Does it make you feel good? Yeah. I was wearing the robe at home dressed, which I do all the time.
Anyone that can walk out and get into their car with a...
I didn't get into the car. I was walking out of the door.
You're walking out of the door?
Yes. With the robe on. Absolutely.
No one... Listen, Brian. No one believes that.
Well, if I am so without credibility and I'm just a bold-faced liar, why do you not only listen to the program but follow my every word and take note of everything I share about my life?
You know what? I'm about to end that because you know what? You know what you are? You have no credibility.
Oh, I have no. What are you about to end? You're not going to listen anymore?
Yeah, I don't need your show like you.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Why don't you start right now? Do you think anyone will miss you?
Good. Have a great day. Okay.
Oh, see, this is an interesting thing. What an arrogant person. He thinks I was talking about him, which I was not, by the way. I wasn't talking about any caller in particular. He's not going to listen anymore. Life goes on. That is textbook. You know why I think he said that at the end? He's not going to listen. He's bugging out. It's when I told him Dr. Janae Lemaski is coming in later in the program. Yeah. He doesn't. He's afraid we'll analyze him with Dr. Lemaski, which I could. I could pull that call up and play it to her and have her give some professional analysis. By the way, Dr. Lemaski, she's my therapist. She's Steve Kane's therapist, and I know she's the therapist of a lot of you guys out there in the listening audience too. But his exit, his dramatic exit from the program, is because he's afraid of Dr. Lemaski and being confronted with a professional psychological analysis of his very bizarre behavior and comments. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Oh, wow, Brian. Greg, too, has really lost his mind today.
Yeah, did you hear his disdain? You're all about selling my pillows and my towels, and you just say things because you think it'll sell more towels. What a weirdo.
I can't disagree that guy has to be a liberal. He has to be all the way. If he's got a problem with my pillow, he's got to be a liberal.
I mean, who has a problem? I mean, if you have issues with the most comfortable pillow known to man, invented by the great Mike Lindell, and you're so partisan with your liberalism that you don't want to have the best sleep imaginable, I mean, how can you deal with somebody like that?
Yeah, like I say, I don't mind when people like that call in. They, along with Wheezy, I don't mind Wheezy.
No, Wheezy's done. Wheezy had been doing some things lately, but she did something in her call earlier this week that I can't tell. I'm not going to tell you what she said, and I dumped it on the air. I know some of you might have got an inkling to what she said watching on YouTube. She said something that was so devious and so over the line. It's gone. She's history around here. It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. But there are certain things that cannot be tolerated. And she went, and I'll tell you, banning people from this program is something that does not happen very often. But she did it.
Well, I mean, I can understand. Like I mean, if somebody's saying something outlandish and you got it on radio, you know, you can't have it. But when it comes to somebody like Greg, you can tell that he was offended by what you brought up today. He felt like it was personal.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I brought the question up. We have a lot of new listeners to this program. I believe I hold the opinion, and maybe this is an arrogant opinion, I believe this is the greatest talk radio show in the history of talk radio, the Steve Kane Show, and for a lot of reasons. And I am not in favor of banning liberals from calling the program. Okay, when liberals call the program, I think that we make our points, whatever the issue is of the day, through them. I've mentioned many times, anytime Steve and I have done a personal appearance over the years, there's at least one person at every appearance, at least one, who comes up to me and says, you know what, I used to be a liberal, I was a Democrat, I listened to you for 5 years, and now I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative from listening to you guys. So I'm not about banning liberals, but there's a lot of new people to this program, and I believe this program is unique, unlike any other in talk radio. And a lot of conservatives don't want to hear the other side, and this isn't like on Fox where, okay, Jessica Tarloff, give us your liberal rap uninterrupted, and we hold the liberals' feet to the fire, and it's a much different thing. And the reason I brought this up was not because of Greg's twisted, bizarro logic. The reason I brought this up is I want to explain to a lot of our conservative MAGA listeners that are new to the program, and when I say new, I mean over the last couple of years, that don't understand the format and why it is we do what we do, why it's good for us to take liberal callers on the program.
Right, exactly. I agree. I mean, I'm going to stay and listen. I just want to hear what you got to say.
I mean, if you, it has not happened in a long time. I can't remember the last time. When is the last time, and I'll honestly ask you this question, when is the last time a liberal Democrat has called into this program and gotten the best of us here?
Never.
Yeah. So no, I'm not in favor of not taking liberal callers. I do sometimes lose my patience when I'm watching them on television. It's because they are not properly challenged, except for occasionally on the 5, Jesse Waters and Gutfeld. But beyond Jesse Waters and Gutfeld on the 5, these liberals go on these monologue rants, and then the host just sits there and laughs and moves on to the next question. And that's not what we are about here. I know I'm not in favor of banning liberals at all. And Wheezy was not banned because she's liberal. She did something that was very devious and very over the line.
I'll listen in for the rest of it, man.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new tires and used tires. They also do tire repairs. Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey Brian, my name is Mike. Just wanted to call and say thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had a flat tire. It was going down really quick. I'm in Coral Springs. I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix it. So I remember you guys were talking about Friendly Mike at Friendly Tires. So I said, listen, Mike, I need a couple of tires. I told him I thought. He goes, I got them. I go, I'll see you tomorrow. They were really cheap. I go over there, and Mike said, which tires do you want to replace? They look relatively new. I said, they are. I just got a big hole in that one. And they said they couldn't be fixed. He goes, pull your vehicle in. I pulled the vehicle in. He took the tire off. He pulled out the plug that the guy in Coral Springs put in there, and he heat shielded it. He kind of patched it or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. And he goes, you don't need any tires. He goes, I fixed that one. Give me $20. But the guy in Coral Springs wanted $500 for 2 tires. I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Give Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. We'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Don't waste time going anywhere else. You will never find prices as low as
I'm texting with my wife.
Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for Don't.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, it's Tim from Mountain.
Tim from where?
Mountain?
Where's Muffin?
Mountain in Canada.
Oh, Canada. Oh, okay. Hey, how you doing? Tim in Canada. Yeah, I hear the accent now. I can hear your Canadian accent a little bit now.
There we go. So you were asking if we should listen to the liberals on the phone. And we definitely should, because if we don't get to know our enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing that is very unusual with liberals today that's different than normal, they're very angry, all of them. I mean, you heard Greg there earlier. He was hysterical like a woman. I mean, he was really out of control there. And and you would think they would be. I remember when Obama won in 2008, it was 6 months of calls, laughing, just enjoying. You guys lost, we're in, Obama, And in the 6 months of Biden here, they're getting more and more upset and angry all the time, as opposed to being on top of the world. They don't feel like winners. They feel like losers still.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah.
Not aware of what they're up to, then we're going to be lost.
Now, what I don't understand though, you're calling from Canada. The Canadian border is locked down with the United States, but we've got this flow from our southern border from Mexico that's nonstop and open. I don't get it.
They're coming here too, and they're talking about it.
How are they getting? Who's coming to Canada?
Oh, they're all over the place.
Who's they? You mean Mexicans, Hispanic?
Well, just foreigners that shouldn't be coming during a pandemic. They're closed everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the border should be closed, but they shouldn't be wide open like we. I was watching some of this footage yesterday from the southern border with Mexico, And I mean, it's just an endless flow of more people coming across illegally, nonstop, 24 hours a day that I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it.
Testing anybody before they come. They're not testing anybody when they arrive.
It's pretty frightening. And you guys in Canada, I mean, you should have joined with the other American colonies in the American Revolution against British tyranny, and you'd be free up there. I mean, you'd have a constitution like ours. They shut down. They arrest pastors. As when that one pastor was arrested in Canada a few weeks back, my goodness, it looked like the takedown of El Chapo because he was having church services.
Crazy Trudeau is talking about calling an election, and his opposition is telling the Governor General to not allow him to do it.
Yeah, that's the last thing they want in Canada right now. Yeah. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thanks for calling from the Great White North. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, George, Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, George.
Tom Lehrer was a songwriter as a hobby, but made it into a profession. And Steve heard about him, but he wrote a song about that included philosophers who give helpful hints to people who are happier than they are. That's, I think, what's going on. I do think you should accept liberals' calls within limits. And, it makes variety and makes you think of topics that would come up, to counter them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I have no problems with liberals. I love talking to liberals. But the liberals, I mean, you heard, like with Greg's call, is the typical liberal call we get today. They're completely unhinged. They're incoherent. They're not talking about the issues. It's all personal, vindictive, and just strange.
Yeah, but he's also extremely boring.
Yes.
Cardinal sin.
That's the worst thing you can say to someone who's on the radio. Boring. We don't want boring.
But the guy who discovered DNA, James Watson, he wrote a book called Avoid Boring People. It's a great book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's I think the subtitle is Avoid Boring People, Do Not Listen to the Joyce Kaufman Radio Show.
I haven't. I catch a few snippets, but I don't know. Yeah, if you say...
I know, I have no problems with Joyce, but her show is just boring. It's just boring, yeah. But that's not new. It's always been boring. All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call, man. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Yes.
Hi, it's Sandra from Boca.
Hey, Sandra, what's up?
Well, I can say one thing. Let the games begin. Yesterday, it was announced that we may be forced to be getting vaccinated in our company. And, I have a really good friend, and they had a meeting, and, we work in subdivision offices, so right away she was able to text me. She said you could have heard a pin drop in that room. It was like shock.
Now, this is a company in Florida. I thought that was against the law in Florida.
There is no date set, but the idea is on the horizon, and I really think it's because I just find it coincidental that Biden comes out with this thing, and then all of a sudden they go by that example and they run with it.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's what's happening. And one girl actually had the courage to speak up and say, what if you've already had the virus? Don't we already have antibodies? Don't we have rights? And basically the same answer was kind of skewed and said, well, you've had the virus, that's fine and everything, but, we're going to be thinking about mandating. And
wow.
I think what it is, I think they obviously can't do it now because of the FDA issue, but I think once the FDA approves it, I think it's...
What type of... obviously, I don't want you to name the company and cause you grief, but what type of industry is it?
It's the medical industry. It's the medical.
Well, I saw two nurses on TikTok yesterday who are told that they're going to be fired if they don't get vaccinated. They worked as first responders at a hospital through the entire pandemic, and now they're being told that they're going to be fired if they don't get the vaccine. we're in a new phase in America. This is beyond the vaccine. I was talking about this yesterday. This is beyond the vaccine. Everything in American law truly is legal precedent. And once they establish this as a legal precedent, America as we know it is gone, because they're gonna mandate everything in the future. The entire Democrat agenda is. I was telling Steve yesterday. The Centers for Disease Control says racism is a public health crisis, and gun violence is a public health crisis. So once they establish this, our Second Amendment gone. Racism is in the eye of the beholder. People call me racist all day, even though I have an interracial family. So what does that mean? Am I endangering the health because somebody says that I'm racist, which is absurd? This is beyond the That's why I'm not really interested in hearing the anecdotal stories about the vaccine, because this is beyond the vaccine.
Beyond the vaccine, it is, and that's because, like I said, I don't have anything against anybody that was vaccinated, is vaccinated, wants to get vaccinated. That's not the issue. The fact that you're telling us, and it's going to affect our livelihood, and it's just, I'm sorry, I was born in this country. I grew up with so many different presidents, so many different administrations, and I don't know.
I got to tell you, that's a heartbreaking thing for me to hear. It really is. That they're going to mandate that you get a medical treatment at your work. That is insane to me. I haven't gotten the flu shot in many years, and I don't get it because it always makes me sick when I get it, and the sickness I get involves sore throat and I can't do my job that way because I'm talking, and my daughter gets very sick with the flu shot, and never again. But why not mandate flu shots or mandate smoking? We had this old lady called at the end of the show yesterday who wants the mask mandate everywhere, and I told her in Florida, you're not required to wear a helmet to ride a motorcycle. I think that's stupid. I call those people organ donors, but that's their choice. It's America. We have freedom. Like Greg was saying, well, you can't take your wife to Disney World for your 25th anniversary. You can go to Key West. Who is he or anyone else to tell me where I'm allowed to go to and where I can go and where I can't? We're in a transformative phase in America that none of us have experienced before.
Exactly, and I'm still in shock. That's why I'm calling this morning.
Well, this vaccine passport that is basically here right now. We're going to find that your papers are going to be checked when you cross state lines or county lines or city limits, and this is. I'm afraid for the country, and I really truly am. And they've conditioned these millennials are older than you think. Mayor Pete and AOC are millennials. A lot of millennials are like 35 years old and under. Okay, and millennials feel, as a group, there's nothing wrong with it's for the public good after all. Well, the Democrats, I learned this many years ago about the Democrats. The Democrats always believe what they are doing is for the public good. That's why they feel so entitled to steamroll you all the time. They've been doing this for decades, but now they have a generation of young people that are in the workforce that are willing to go along with it, and they're making their move.
Big liberal, and she then called me at the end of the day yesterday, speaking in a whisper. She says, "Oh, did you hear that you're going to be able, you're going to have to be doing this?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What are you going to do, go tomorrow?" I said, "Take it easy, please." I said, "Take it easy."
Wow.
Goodness gracious, I said. Oh, my word.
What, does she want you to consult with maybe your doctor first? Maybe you have a... Oh.
I've had the flu shots my whole life. I've had this my whole life. But you know what? That's you. You can't speak for everybody else. Listen.
These liberal women, abortion has been a big issue, in particular for liberal women, and it was my body, my choice. And now that is out the window.
Yes, it is. And I've known more people you think you wouldn't know it, so many people. You would just hear it anecdotally, from other people. But there's been people in my circle, first vaccination ended up in the hospital.
Well, there's someone in our audience that I was talking to who got the vaccine. They really didn't want to get the vaccine. They don't get vaccines. Their parents when they were growing up, had a hardcore drug addiction to IV drugs, and the sight of needles is very traumatic. But they had to get the vaccine, and it was a very difficult thing for them to do because they don't get needles or anything. They don't get any health care that involves needles or anything because that's a traumatic experience, and they had to do it. Everyone's different. Everyone's different, and it's awful. What else can I say right now? All right.
They won't allow these two people to get the second vaccine, if that makes any sense.
Well, like I say, I'm vaccinated, but I still think it's America, and you have the freedom to make your medical choices. And like I said yesterday, I had two side effects. The one that was the worst, I had pain. When I got the vaccine, especially the second one. The second one's after I didn't have any side effects for the first. I had the Moderna. No side for the first. The second one I did, and I even, when I got the second shot, I had arranged to have a best of show ready just in case, and I had a sick stomach, some chest pains, but I was tired for about 6 weeks, and it was very difficult because of the hours I work.
Brian, I've been working for a telemarketing company for the last 15 years of my life, and I sell a bunch of things. Like, they call the TV and then they get me, and I sell it. And we were doing this massager for the feet, and I kind of got in a conversation with this lady, and she says, well, I've been going to physical therapy for 2 months. She says, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And I said, okay, and I kind of just said to her, what happened? And she says, if you must know, and this is how she put it, if you must know, she says, I was vaccinated, and the first vaccine was fine. She says the second vaccine, she says, didn't go well. She said, thank God I'm 70 years old and I'm retired, but I slept 14 to 16 hours out of the day, and now the muscles in my legs are not right.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be, she says.
It's interesting. Any medical decision, why not outlaw smoking? That affects other people because of side stream smoke, and there are people who get smoking related illnesses and conditions that have never smoked a cigarette because they're exposed to side stream smoke. Why not? What about the exhaust from vehicles? People are breathing that in. Why don't we outlaw combustion vehicles for the public health? And they have a standard. As much as I dislike Ben Shapiro, he made a very good point on Outnumbered yesterday. He says they have no endpoint. There's no declaring, okay, it's over. It's just always, once you get to this goalpost, there's something else. They have no end in sight.
And that there's always going to be something, and then they're going to get a third dose,
and then there's going to be a variant.
There's going to be another variant, and my mother's own medical director that came to the house to see her, he's a doctor, because she's on the hospice program. I said, here we go, he's going to be lecturing me about the vaccine. He's going to say, get it. Instead, I was very shocked. He says, I would think about it. He says, just think about it. He says, because, I'm in touch with 2 virologists every 3 months. And
well, I don't know. Here I am. I'm April, May, June, July. I'm like 3-4 months in. I other than tired for about 6 weeks, I have no health-related issues from that. If anything happens to me, my wife can release. I'll authorize her to release the autopsy results for you guys. Okay. All right. Take care. I got to run for our last break of the hour. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. Phone's very, very busy today. It's 49 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my wife, Kat.
All right. Let me go through the super chats. Ryan, $10 super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Everyone thank Ryan. The way I feel is that there should be strict rules for everyone before going on the show. If they break the rules, they need to be banned. No, I don't want to have rules like that. Tim K, $5 super chat. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Everyone thank Tim K.
absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3
Yes,
custom
Wheezy is
inserts.
banned.
Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on Heart Radio. Just search for WWN.
All right, 9 minutes before 7. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. The phones are very, very busy this morning. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to go to the phones again shortly, but Steve is joining us early today. Hey, Steve.
All this excitement with liberals calling in, I just had to get a piece of the action.
Well, I have some sad news to report. Some sad news. Greg, too, called, and he's no longer going to listen to the program.
Oh, my God.
Greg, too. Greg, too.
The guy who our whole show depends on? The guy who, without which we're boring and dull?
Yes.
The guy who's the star of the Steve Kane?
That Greg, too. Yeah, he's not going to listen any longer.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? What happened is he was saying, usual nonsense, and I had mentioned that Dr. Lemaski's coming by, and I was suggesting he call back so we can do some analysis with Dr. Lemaski of him, and that was, cross in front of a vampire with that one, All right, now we only have one opening on the board. It won 888-GO-KANE-1, and I just broke my glasses. Gosh darn it, this is this is just not a good week for me. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Mike from New York.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Look at this.
Now, I think you missed a great call by Greg, but I just want to know.
No, I heard the end of it. It was the best part.
Oh, the grand sign-off, the big announcement.
First of all, Steve, let me just tell you this. The number one honeymoon place in the world, which I can't believe, is
Yeah.
in the Post yesterday. But besides that, let me say something about Greg. He's an attorney. At 6:20, wakes up, and the first thing on his mind is to call Brian.
Yeah.
There's no noise. There's no noise ever in the background. Not a child, not a dog. Isn't he married? His wife? I mean, there's no...
I remember something. I remember something that Greg. There was an incident.
No, he's. I don't want to get into the thing, no, but he's a. No. He's a. Because I'm a gentleman. He's a widower.
Yeah, exactly. So he thinks you're his ex-wife.
And I'll just tell you, the reason my wife and I want to go on our 25th anniversary to Disney World is that's where we went on our honeymoon 25 years ago. That's why we're returning 25 years later. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on. I'm burning up because he was so disrespectful to you. But he talks about advertising.
Yeah.
Commercial on TV is an attorney. Oh, you hit in an accident. We hit on a motorcycle. Are they bad?
You slipped and you fell, and it was someone else's fault. Call me. Yeah.
And the last thing, I know you guys are busy, guys. A lot of people on hold, but I got a way to beat the mask mandate. If you wanted to avoid the U.S. COVID restrictions, so I flew to Mexico. Then I just walked back in. You don't have to follow in.
That's correct. All right, Mike. Take care. All right, there's only one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Brian and Steve.
Hey, Andrea.
Good morning, Andrea. How are you this morning?
I'm very well. How are you?
Super duper.
That's fantastic. So, Brian, you were 100% correct because a few months ago, you called in and said that he was one of the smartest people that ever listened to your show.
Well, he says he's smarter than, not everyone, but just smarter than most now.
Well, what he was
He's humbled.
is that he's smarter than all of your listeners.
That's correct.
So there's that. But you said something yesterday, and it got passed right by the wayside. You said yesterday Joe Biden sent a bunch of Cuban people escaping Cuba back.
That's right.
That's why I'm calling. Because if you notice, you do not hear a peep about this now.
Yeah, and those Cubans that he sent back to Cuba will immediately go to prison, at least for 20 years. But of course, they'll be tortured before they go, and then tortured while they're there for the next 20 years. I mean, it's really a death sentence. And I was watching, I'm sure you've seen this, Steve. I was watching some really sick footage from the southern border. The number of people that are coming across nonstop into the United States is in numbers that we've never seen before. Just nonstop, and it's very nice. Biden has the buses right there ready for them to get on, the air-conditioned buses to go to an American city near you with your Delta variant.
Yeah, but punish Americans. Punish Americans who aren't going to get the vaccine. Punish Americans who are now going to be subject to what I'm thinking is going to be another lockdown. But yet you're letting all these people into this country, and so you've now opened the border, let hundreds of thousands of people into this country, ship them everywhere on tax.
By the end of the year, they're telling us, and I'm sure this is a conservative number, they're telling us by the end of the year, 2 million will have entered through the southern border. If they're telling us 2 million, it's probably 3.
I'm asking myself, what is it going to take, and how long will it take to get to that spot that liberals love to find? What was it? I'm trying to say here.
When they say no mas?
The boundary thing. Liberals always breaking the boundary. That's where it's going to occur. Something is going to happen so horrendous that it will break the back of their drive here.
Maybe so. I hope so. I hope so. But a lot of these issues that are going on in the news are to distract from the border.
Yeah, but they can't control it all, and they're like that. Who was the guy who kept sticking his finger in the dike? Some Dutch guy.
Yes.
It's you push it too far, and something's going to happen, and that's going to break the back of this thing. That's what I think.
But this is how you know how Biden contradicted himself about Cuba. He went on TV and gave this big long speech about communism as a failed system and yada yada yada. And the simplest thing America could have done is provide the Cuban people with internet.
Well, CNN yesterday did a story from Havana, and on the protest down there, and you know what they're concerned about? I would like to say I was shocked, but what CNN's concerned about are how these protests, and again we're talking about freedom protests, will increase the COVID infections in Cuba. They made it about they're concerned about so they're supporting the government cracking down because they want to slow the spread of COVID. What's going on right now. By the way, Andrea, thanks for the call. We're up against the break, but Steve, I was watching the White House press conference yesterday. Jen Psaki was not there. They had another girl, and anything's welcoming to her. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, but maybe. Oh, she's no. She's just, Jin Saki is just so despicable. It makes anyone look pleasant. But the woman yesterday was asked, "Will there be more lockdowns?" And she refused to say no. She said, "Well, we'll have to listen to the CDC and the doctors." So if the scientists at the CDC say lockdowns, lockdowns are coming back.
Anything out of Jin Saki's absence?
No, that woman's filled in before. She was just, I've seen her up there before. It wasn't her first time. I've seen her up there a few times. No, nothing to read into. All right, listen, there's one opening on the board. Every other line is filled. So if you're on hold, hang in there because you may have a difficult time getting back through. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Steve with us a little early today. And hour number 1 is down. Hour number 2 begins right now.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9.
Jacqueline, $20 super sticker. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank Jacqueline. So I broke my reading glasses. I don't have another pair here, but I lose and break these so much. I have my wife buy them on Amazon, 5 pairs at a time. But I have to close my eye when I read the news articles. I have 2015 vision. I had LASIK vision like 20 years ago, correction. Far away I have 2015 vision, but I have to wear reading glasses now to read. It's very strange. 2015 is better than 2020. But, you know, so if I put my iPad on the wall, I could read it. But I couldn't touch it to scroll through the stories.
These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my wife, Kathy, and she's here to tell you about her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick, so I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress topper, and let's see if it helps or makes any kind of a difference. And I have to tell you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up no pain. I felt incredible. It made a huge, huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA.
Oh, these are cheap. I get 5 pairs for like $20 because I lose them so much, and they break them and everything else. So I have like 15 pairs at home.
That's 1-888-GO-CANE.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. 4 minutes after 7. I'm Brian. Steve is here early. Are you up early or up all night, Steve? Up early. Okay, that's great. Just like me, up early is great. I'm a morning person.
History of the world is passing us by.
No doubt about that. All right, let's go back to our very busy phones. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, what's up, Brian and Steve? It's 420, 420. I want to ask Steve a question.
Tim, $5 super chat. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Please play "If I Were the Devil" by Par Hardy. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Do something with his phone. He won't be. This is 420, which is International Marijuana Day, so he named himself after it. So.
But okay.
Do not talk about marijuana. Do not talk about marijuana.
I want to ask Steve. You there? What do you think about the right?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me, Steve? Yeah, I can hear you, Steve. You can't hear me. Okay, Steve. I can hear you, Steve. Oh my goodness, he's yelling at me. He's far off mic. Let me turn his mic off for a little bit, and then we'll talk to him. All right. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Yes, you're on the air.
Something that just scared me to death. I'm in a pretty small town here in Michigan, and I was in my Walmart, and I seen the biggest, most warrior-looking man, and on this man's shirt, he had a big rifle scout.
Uh-huh.
On the other side of it, it said, "Death to Israel, death to Christians."
Wow. What was? Let me ask you, this guy. What was his ethnicity? Was he a white guy?
No, sir, he was not.
What was he?
I'm not trying to be cruel here, but I believe him to be Iranian.
Oh, well, that explains it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Iranian? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Iranians hate, America. You know what Iran calls Israel in the United States? They call America the cancer and Israel the little cancer. Yeah, so that's
Man looked at me with the most hate, vile look in his eyes, and I'm a very small person, but I kind of think I'm a tough gal. You know what? That was intimidating.
Why was he looking at you?
Oh, he passed by me.
Oh, okay.
We literally passed by each other in the bread aisle, and he looked at me with the most vile hatred in his eyes. And it truly did scare me.
Well, I understand. I can understand if you've got a anti-American, anti-Semite at that level, that would scare anyone. Yeah. I was at where are you located at? Where are you located?
I am in Michigan. I'm in a small town, Hastings.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're moving. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of. So are there a lot? Story, but it was up north as well. I can't remember where. If anybody knows, remind me. I can look it up. But did you see the story of the woman who was beheaded in the street?
Been saying that's coming for us.
Well, I saw that story, and my immediate thought was that sounds like Islamic terrorism. But I read the stories, and I don't see any mention of anything like that.
It is terrorism. She has our governor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is a community called Livonia. Now, I used to be a truck driver, so...
Oh, like Joe Biden. Joe Biden said yesterday he drove an 18-wheeler.
Yeah, I will put my skills to his any day.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Come on, but Livonia had been taken over a very long time ago, to the point where I don't think there's any English there anymore. The entire community has nothing but Arabian.
Yeah, Middle Eastern.
Yeah, there's no English. They're all the stores, all the roads. They even changed the roads, apparently.
It's interesting. The Middle East is a desert region, and so many of the Middle Eastern people that there was a mass wave of immigration during Obama's time, and it's into the coldest parts of our country. And I just looked this up, okay? This woman that was beheaded, she was a beautiful woman. Her name was America Mafalda Thayer, 55. She was found dead on a sidewalk in Shakopee on Wednesday afternoon. Cops discovered her body lying next to the car with her head lying next to it. Alexis Soberit, age 42, was arrested on second-degree murder charges, and this was in Minnesota. So I don't know. They got a picture of the guy here. I'm thinking that's the Middle Eastern guy.
Yes, he was definitely this man. And the other thing that just was so shocking to me is his stature.
Yeah.
Really realized to me, I come face to face with
Well, if I saw somebody wearing that shirt in the grocery store, I'd be nervous too. That's pretty bad. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Let me check back in. We got you back, Steve? Okay, good. I don't know what happened there. We got you back. Okay.
It was the cat.
The cat did something?
But she has lost her studio privileges for another.
The cat was walking on the equipment. Oh my goodness! And was pushing buttons. Yeah, I just had mentioned. Did you see this woman was beheaded by this guy in Minnesota?
Listening.
Okay, yeah. This story is everywhere. A woman was found beheaded in the street in Minnesota. They arrested the guy that did it, and I don't hear anyone in any of the stories even suggest that he might be of Middle Eastern descent. But it sounds like it, looks like it to me. And of course, they're afraid to touch on anything that might actually get to the root cause of anything. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, Brian. It's Sherry from Texas.
Sherry from Texas. What's up?
Hello, Sherry.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Good.
Now that he's got rid of the cat.
On Friday at work, I work for a hospital. We were all pulled into this area, all of us employees. And what's concerning about what I'm about to share is we were told that as of October 1st, it's mandatory that everybody be vaccinated.
In Texas?
Or we lose our job.
What type of profession are you in? What's the industry?
It's the nursing.
Are you a nurse? Are you in?
I'm in nutrition.
Okay, you see patients? You did this through the whole pandemic? Did you get COVID?
Yes.
Oh, what the hell? I mean, you've got the immunity.
Exactly. So, but what's alarming is everybody's standing there like statues. Everybody's afraid to say anything. So I said, hey, I have a question here. I said, what about religious preference? What if somebody's religion says, we don't do this?
Well, what are you? Are you a Christian Scientist or something, or?
It was out there because employees had been talking about that because
yeah.
I want to appeal this. I don't want the vaccine. Where do you go with this?
Well, are they going to require proof?
That was another question I had. And their response to that one was, we'll get back to you on.
You know, let me tell you, okay, what's going to happen with, I said this the other day, we are going to get a nationwide vaccine mandate. Biden was hinting at it yesterday in this I watched his press conference yesterday. I don't usually watch, but I watched this one because I wanted to hear, and he's thinking about a vaccine mandate, which means they've already decided. They're just slowly easing us into it by getting these other things done. People are going to go along with it for the most part. Most people will do what it is that they got to do to keep working. And most people, especially after the last year and a half, can't take some. I got a call the other day from one of our callers, Jeff in Maine. I don't care. I won't mandate. I said, well, do you work? He's like, no, I'm retired. Well, but if you're someone, and Andrea called yesterday and she says, if my work, I would sue. Well, if you're a guy working at at Walmart or Target, you can't go out and get some lawyer and sue. You're making $9.50 an hour. You got to go to work. You know, I mean, so people will comply when the companies mandate it because they got to work. They got to eat.
Is when I said, what about if your religion says is not for that? And their response was, you can file an appeal, but it is not a guarantee that your appeal.
Yeah, and once you start doing that, you know, like there's this story today about Scarlett Johansson suing Disney over her salary, right? She's suing Disney for $50 million because they released her movie on the streaming service, and her contract gives her big payouts for the theatrical revenues, and she's suing them. Whether she's right or wrong, she's done in the movie business. Who's gonna hire someone that sues the studio like that, right? And so if people do what you're doing, you know, make grievances, go through human resources, okay, they'll walk you through the process, but your hours are going to get cut. You might find yourself downsized. You know, I mean, employers don't like employees that sue them.
I mean, I went ahead, I got to sue. So it's really not about me, but I pretty much just stood up and asked the questions that everybody was wanting to ask, but was fearful to ask.
Do you know what and this is, you know, I broke my reading. You know, I had LASIK vision correction many years ago. I have 20/15 vision from far away, but I need reading glasses to read, and I can't. And my glasses broke. I have one lens, so I'm squinting one of my eyes. But there was a story about the NFL. I'll try to find it during the break. But you know, they're going to make one. The NFL is requiring vaccines, and there's one team, Steve, that is making team members that are not vaccinated wear yellow wristbands, which are the same color as the Jewish stars the Jews had to wear in Nazi Germany, by the way. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was right. There is a transformation going on in this society that none of us have ever experienced. It's a new form of segregation.
This is not a fighting. I mean,
all right, well, we're losing the connection there. But let's take one more call, then we'll break. I don't have the article. I want to say Tampa. I might have been Tampa, but I can't swear to that. If anybody knows, let me know. Good morning, caller. You're on the radio.
Hey, it's Mike from Boca.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Steve.
What's up?
Yes, the lady, I read that article in Minnesota.
Oh, the beheading?
Yeah, quite disturbing. Apparently, she works at the My Pillow company.
Oh, really? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, my goodness. She was one of Mike Lindell's employees that got beheaded? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, she was beautiful. I saw a picture of her. She was beautiful.
A very nice lady at work, they said that she actually was working 70 hours a week, and everyone loved her. Everyone called her by her first name. Everyone was...
Well, they're saying it was domestic, like this was like I guess a boyfriend or something.
Died during the day. I mean, it was even backyard.
They found her body and head on the street. Did it outside.
Is this a street where everyone stays in when these things are happening and nobody knows?
Well, let me tell you, I did something that I really regret. Many years ago, I saw online one of those beheading videos when they beheaded an American, the Al Qaeda. I'll never watch another. And the guy, and they drug these when they behead these guys, the terrorists. Typically, they're drugged up so they can have a little bit of control over them during the video. But when they went to cut the head off, the guy made noises like I've never heard before come from any person or animal. And this guy that beheaded this woman in Minnesota, not just the blood, but the noises that came from this woman, I'm sure could have been heard a mile away. I don't know where I don't know if I would. Would you intervene if somebody was that violent? Probably not, Mike.
Well, but I would immediately call.
Well, they got the guy, so somebody called. They got him. He's in custody. Oh, hey, Mike, I appreciate the call. We got to take a break, though. It's 20 minutes after the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. Steve with us early today. And lots of calls been coming in today, and some new people we haven't spoken to before, and some pretty interesting comments as well. We'll take a break and be right back.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we're back 23 minutes after the hour. Yeah, I looked this up during the break, Steve. It was, listen, it's this is from NBC Sports. The defending champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, opened training camp Sunday last week. They say their vaccinated players will wear red wristbands during practice. Players who have not received their vaccination will wear yellow wristbands. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, NBC Sports reporting. What? No one even said, well, wait a minute, the Jewish stars that the Nazis made the Jews wear were yellow? I mean, don't these guys have agents that know about such things? You know what I mean? How can this be? The symbolism of that, just the color of itself, is stupid.
Inadvertent, they may have, who knows, with the mentality that's floating out there in the wonderful world of pro football, it may be meant to
Oh, yeah, like Chuck Connors, branded.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane and stupid and outrageous. So what happens if they have the yellow wristband? You don't tackle them or something? What do you don't want to come in close contact? What's you know what I mean? That's I don't know, very strange. All right, back to the phones. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Oh, hi, Brian. Hi, Steve.
Hello. Hey, Vanessa.
Hi. Yesterday I saw something that was pretty upsetting. Right Side Broadcasting, OANN, they were interviewing Louie Gohmert.
I saw that.
Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Green. She was totally upset. They would not let them in.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that later, but since you brought it up, I will share it. Yeah, I was watching this on Right Side Broadcasting Live. Louie Gohmert Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know if this was on television or not, what happened, but they, the three of them, Louis Gohmert, who's been in Congress since like '05, he's been there a long time, he was a judge before that, he went with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz to the, Steve, did you see this story? Got very little. Yeah, okay, they went to one of the federal jails in D.C. where they're holding the Capitol breach prisoners. And there's been a lot of reports that they're being abused. We know their lawyers have said they've been denied access to their clients, they've been not denied bail, they've been denied hearings, they're in solitary confinement, which means they're in a cell 23 hours a day. So they went down there, just like members of Congress go to Guantanamo Bay and other federal facilities to see if these rumors are true. And what the guards pulled was insane. Okay, so Louis Gohmert, Matt Gaetz, and Marjorie Taylor Greene are there with a whole group of people from the media. They go into the lobby, they make them wait, they wait, they wait, they wait. And I saw all this online. It's on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube, who was covering this. And then an overweight, a very overweight guard comes out with a mask and tells them that they got to wear masks. So they put masks on, and then they wait, and they wait, and they wait. Then the same obese guard comes out and says, well, you three sitting members of the United States House of Representatives, you're trespassing on federal property. You have to leave. And he says, well, wait a minute, we're Congress people. We can go, you know. And she says, well, that's what my supervisor says. And Louis Gohmert said, well, I want to talk to your supervisor. And what they did, they pulled a fast one. They tricked Louis Gohmert, Matt Gaetz, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. So the door opened. This was all online live. I couldn't believe this. So the door opens from the back area, and a lady sergeant comes out. And Louis Gohmert figures, well, she's the supervisor, right? She walks right past the three of them and goes outside. So Louis Gohmert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Matt Gaetz follow her outside to talk to her about getting in to see the prisoners, right? As soon as they got outside, the lady sergeant sped right back into the building, locked the doors, and locked the congressman out with all these television cameras around them. So they couldn't get in. And then, of course, they had a press conference detailing even more detail than that what happened. And I thought, wow, the news cycle, it's going to stop now because I've never seen anything like this. And it was barely mentioned on television. But it was quite dramatic, wasn't it, caller?
Absolutely. Marjorie Taylor Greene was visibly shaken. She couldn't believe it.
Well, she said one thing. I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene on Greg Kelly last night on Newsmax. She said one of the federal guards in a uniform called them white supremacists. And these are the people that are in charge of the Capitol breach prisoners. And Louis Gohmert said, I can only assume that the stories we're hearing of abuse are true, or they would have let us see them. He says, I've been to Guantanamo Bay. I've been to federal jails before. We're congressmen. We can go wherever the hell we want on federal property.
He's on the commission that visits prisons.
Yes.
Oh.
And it was a complete cover-up on that in the news cycle yesterday. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene said that and she couldn't identify the person because, of course, a mask was on all of them to hide their identity, you know.
You know, that reminded me of, remember the scene in
I need more than that. Oh, now I don't know what scene.
The scene where they take the congressman out to.
Oh yeah, to the base. Yeah, it was similar to that. It was similar to that, and I couldn't believe that they pulled this trick on them with all the TV cameras around. And what Marjorie Taylor Greene said, one of them called her a white supremacist. Listen, they mess with. I like Matt Gaetz. But I'll tell you what, I would never mess with Louis Gohmert or Marjorie Taylor Greene. And what they did yesterday just emboldened them even more. So it was pretty outrageous.
I hope they go back with more.
Yeah. Yeah, and then one of the attorneys tried to get in to see his client, and they wouldn't let the attorney in to see his client either yesterday. See, they're treating them, a lot of you guys that supported the Patriot Act, they're using the Patriot Act against the Capitol breachers. And they're treating them as if they're ISIS, an Al-Qaeda terrorist.
The attorney went up and showed him his card. He said, "I'm an attorney." They would not let him in.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty, and the press conference with Louis Gohmert was quite dramatic when he laid down everything that happened. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was too, but she left out the white supremacist part in the press conference. She was so upset, but she told Greg Kelly last night. And, a lot of people, we're talking about the yellow and the symbolism of the yellow. There have been endless books and discussions on how the Holocaust happened. And this is how it happened. You have people that are government workers who go along, people that, I don't know why people think police officers are conservative. They're government workers. A huge chunk of them are liberals, and anyone who works for the federal government, you can assume, is a liberal. And, so the police forces are filled with liberals, one, and two, since they work for the government, they don't want to mess with their livelihood. This is how the Holocaust happened, when things like this that we saw yesterday are allowed to take place, and the media could act like it was, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a nutcase,
She had two good men around her, and it freaked me out. I'm like, this got to be unreal, and it's really happening.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. I was actually in shock. This operation they pulled where they distracted them outside to lock them out of the lobby of the jailhouse, that was pretty coordinated. I'd love to know how that came to be. Whose idea was that?
It's a switch. Look what happened, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Appreciate the call. All right. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller. You're on the radio. Oh, boy. Once. Twice. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. Hey, Doug.
I was watching that last night. The main thing is that they called before they showed up. They didn't just show up. They knew they were coming. So they sent a sergeant out. They must have been a higher authority that could have came out. This is really the cancel culture at its best, boy.
Yeah, and if you guys go on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube after 9 o'clock, don't do it now, but wait till we're off the air. But if you go, you can watch the whole event, and it takes a while to watch, but it'll be worth it. And if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, at least watch the press conference with Louis Gohmert out in front of the jail, out in front of the Capitol.
I'm telling you, it's terrible. They're trying to cancel us. They're doing everything they want to do, and they're spitting in our face. And I don't see anybody on the Republican side saying, how about we're going to impeach President Biden? Not a word. Not one person that says they want to.
What would you impeach him for? What high crime or misdemeanor?
Impeach Trump for nothing.
Also, we're going to but that was wrong. We don't want to impeach people just because we don't like them and approve. It's got to be a crime.
Well, he certainly has done some crimes, letting people come into our country.
Well, I would certainly like someone to look into the Jackson Pollock of our time, Hunter Biden's painting deal. I saw a picture of Hunter Biden in his art studio, and he's really sticking it to you. Because I follow. My wife is big into artists and everything, and he was in this picture. The reason I said Jackson Pollock wasn't just random. He took a photograph in his art studio, and it was an update of there's a very famous, I think it was Life magazine did a huge story on Jackson Pollock before he died, and he was posing like a famous Jackson Pollock photograph. I mean, he's like, screw you, I can do whatever. There is a video floating around on YouTube and Twitter that is hilarious, and I did see them play it on Newsmax the other day. You may have seen it, Steve, if you've been watching Newsmax. Oh, this is hilarious. They have Biden when he was a senator talking about the mandatory prison sentences anyone will have to do that has crack, even one rock, and he goes through this whole thing about how you have one rock, you're going to do the 5 years, the judge will have no choice, and then it's a split screen. The other side of the screen is Hunter smoking crack in a hotel room. And it's sad because Hunter's a sad guy, and the video it sounds, yeah.
Order means nothing. You can't have people that are at that high profile behaving and flouting the law the way they do.
Yeah.
And not having it run all through society.
Yeah.
That's what the riots are all about.
Yeah. All right, listen, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. Do not go anywhere.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything to help you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we're back. Steve, during the next break, I'm going to call you on your cell phone, so answer the phone when I call during the next break, okay? Okay, and also after the show, I've called the station manager. We're going to have a meeting after the show. We're trying to get some of the other executives involved, too, on how the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida will continue after today without Greg Tooze listening to it. A lot of concern going on here at the station. But I am going to call you during the next break, though, about something else. John in Wellington, one of our callers, he just left. He called earlier, but he left me a message now. He just went to the Walmart in Lake Worth, and they refused him entry because he was not wearing a mask. And we are maskless Florida. Ron DeSantis is free Florida. The mandates are coming back, people, and That's that. Now, I watched Biden's press conference. He had a freak out with Ducey yesterday. Biden has always had a temper. He's always been a nasty man. But let me play this clip. This is Peter Ducey, after the press conference was over, asked Biden a question. Biden got pissed. He was walking off and came back towards Ducey.
President, you said if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. And it seems...
He said if you're fully... I'm not sure this one's Ducey. If it's somebody else, let me know. He says, you said, Mr. President, that if you're fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. As he was bringing back the mask mandate, he's been flip-flopped on this. And Biden gets pissed.
Mr. President, you said if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. And it seems... I have to say, you're fully vaccinated in an area where you do not have... Let me clarify. In May, you made it sound like the vaccine was the ticket to losing the mask forever.
He said, you made it sound like taking the vaccine was the ticket to losing the mask forever, he says to Biden.
That is true at the time, because I thought there were people who weren't going to understand that getting vaccinated made a gigantic difference.
He said it was true at the time, and he just totally had a meltdown. Oh, yeah. The mask? The bringing the mask back? Yeah.
Yeah, the mask.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, the mask is not popular.
Oh, no.
To stick up to the...
Well, apparently the Walmart in Lake Worth is. They're not allowing people in without it. At least not John from Wellington. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty... Oh, before... if you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-GO, Kane 1. I just want to mention quickly what happened to me yesterday. A lot of people have been messaging me. Remember I was talking about my blood pressure. I thought I was going to collapse. What had happened was I had 7 shots of espresso coffee yesterday morning. And I did something very stupid. I drink a coffee every day with 4 shots of espresso, and that's fine. Been doing that for years. And I had 4 shots of espresso before I left the house, which is my normal thing to do. And then on the way in, I stopped at Starbucks on the way to work and got another one, and I drank 3/4 of it, and so I had about 7 shots of espresso, and oh man, I was really hurting, but it was just an overdose of coffee of espresso. Like that Cuban coffee, but boy, I don't know what it was doing to my body, but it was messed up, man. I tell you, and it took me almost all day to recover from it. It was a rough day. So I had my 4 shots this morning, and now I'm drinking water. And I had no water yesterday, so it was dehydration on top of the caffeine overdose. All right, back to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Hey, this is Dee in Newport Richey. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Okay, this is hilarious that you OD'd on coffee. That's pretty funny, number 1.
Man, it wasn't funny during the show yesterday.
I know. But, I wanted to tell you that I heard an interview a couple of days ago from a guy named Mike that was picked up and arrested for January 6th. He was down in Florida, and he was picked up, and he was jailed from February until he just got out July 14th. Now, he did say that he was in jail for 23 hours, solitary confinement, had 1 hour of rec time. If the guard got ticked at you for any reason, you would lose that 1 hour, and you would be back in that cell by yourself for 23 more hours. I teared up listening to what he had to say. He said, just so that all of us in I think he called it a dorm, would cheer each other up. Every night at 9 o'clock, they would sing the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Just grew and grew and grew. One of these guards one night came over and said, you guys shut the F up. I don't want to hear this anymore. And if I do, whatever. Okay, so Mike, the guy that just got out, he said, dude, he said, this is the national anthem. Give me a break. His response was, F you and F America.
Well, listen, these are federal government workers, and at the top level, it's just like that black Capitol Police officer is Black Lives Matter, and has been for a long time. You know, people that work in government are liberal, and I am. It's very strange that we have all these conservative people in jail being locked up, and now we have our most vocal conservative members of Congress visiting jails to check on their conditions. It's usually the other way around, right? It's usually Democrats that have their people locked up, you know, and they're checking on their condition. I mean, we're in Bizarro world here, but these people are mostly charged with minor vandalism-like crimes, and for them to be held in solitary confinement, no bail, no hearings, no trials, no speedy trials, being denied counsel. It's crazy.
Is that what was interesting is the interviewer asked him, he said, what tell us everything that you did and then what happened as to how you got picked up. So he told that whole story. And he said, so the prosecutor, he said, basically, because he didn't do anything, he said he was let in. He was one of the...
Well, listen, listen, the breach was wrong, and so far as being let in, I wasn't there. I was watching on television. I saw people scaling the walls, and they knew going in was the wrong thing to do. Don't believe this thing. Well, I was let in, and I was told it was okay. Come on. I mean, you know, trespassing.
But here's the interesting thing, is he said that the prosecutor, when he got in front of the judge, used his past. He had done some time in the past. So he was using his past to try.
Well, that's typical. He has a criminal history. That's relevant.
Quite interesting.
Well, that's what happens when you go to court. If you have prior, that's relevant. There's nothing. I don't, you know. Listen, obviously, there's that one video we see where they were let in and shown in by that one police officer, but come on. You know, everyone, when you go there, there's a tourist entrance. It's in the back. Everyone knows that. People were scaling the walls. You know you're not supposed to go up the Capitol steps and walk in, okay? Especially when people are climbing through the windows and climbing the walls and everything. So I don't want to buy this thing. Well, it's just like he's on a tour group. Come on, you know. But still, I mean, we're talking about minor charges, stuff that teenagers do, right? Vandalism, breaking and entering. Trespassing. These are like high school crimes.
So say that they wanted to charge them for delaying a legislative process.
Well, what they're saying is this is the problem, and not one person has been charged with insurrection. They've all been charged with other crimes, mostly very minor. Some have some heavier charges, but you know, the guy that had the zip ties, he's screwed. I mean, you know, and the guy that had his feet on Pelosi's desk, he's done. But most of them are being charged with minor teenage-like crimes, you know. And what has happened is they when they rushed and rounded all these people up, they thought they were going to have 500 treason trials going on, and Biden's Justice Department has found that they can't really charge most of these people with a felony of any kind, certainly not that, and they don't know what to do, and they're holding them like this because they don't know what to do with them.
This Dems that fled Texas. I look at that as legislators who are stopping the legislative.
And it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I know what you're saying. I mean, you know, and maybe the defense will try to make that case, but you know, they don't know what to do with them. And this fake hearing they got going on, is to make it sound like these people that are being held are terrorists as opposed to trespassers. You know, it's being over. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to take our last break of the second hour. Steve's here. I'm Brian. We'll be back with more of your calls and a lot of topics too. I haven't even gotten any of my show prep today. So we'll take that break and be back. And don't forget, I'm going to call you during the break, okay? So answer your cell phone, okay? All right, we'll be right back after this.
You covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9.
I'm going to go call Steve.
South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
I checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is just running nonstop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up with the heat gain. You know, like you'll have the temperature set on your house at 74, and you'll look over at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radiant barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radiant barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and get a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, with a shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, even 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats them up. I can't read any of my. I haven't done my show prep because I can't read the damn articles because of my broken glasses. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp that goes on the underside of the roof deck below the trusses, so there's an air gap so it doesn't damage the roof. And it basically just turns the heat wave that comes down off the roof around and pushes it back up out the roof. So it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You know, you see those white roofs on people's houses. They put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your
Steve Kane Show.
You know, it's like $1 a square foot, and we even got a special. If you
Hey, Sandra, hold on.
Square feet or more, you get an additional $500 off. So, I mean, hey, it's very reasonable. It's very affordable. This time of year, you know, you're getting it for half price, plus you're getting additional money off. We also do traditional insulation, and we do ductwork. So we can do like the complete job in your attic, whatever you need up in your attic. Insulation, ductwork, you know, radiant barrier. We can do the whole package.
Now listen,
we do that for a lot of people.
It's getting hot today. It's going to be about 88, 89 degrees here in South Florida. We're not in the hottest heat of the summer yet. We will be soon. And because of that, Scott, he's offering a great discount before it gets super, super hot, because as it gets hotter and hotter, it's more difficult for his crew to work in the attic. Now, it's not quite as hot. They can get the work done faster, can spend more time in the attic. I want to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you miss this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. First, you can give Scott a call at 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. Steve and I had a conference during the break. All right, we're back.
How impactful our discussion was. One sentence.
Yeah, I know. I won't. I wish you guys.
I said it all.
I went into the production room to call Steve, so you guys on YouTube didn't hear the conversation, but it was a funny one. All right, now, if you're on hold, stand by. Stand by. Okay, now someone tweeted this. You know, we have this Secretary of Defense who's a retired general, big black guy. You know, Army general. He's now Secretary of Defense. He's fully vaccinated. He's getting off a plane, and he's fist bumping a doctor, or at least the guy's in a lab coat. I don't know. He might be a cook. I don't know. But the well, remember they did that when they announced Obamacare. When Obama, they had all the doctors at the White House for the Obamacare signing with Obama, and the doctors didn't bring their lab coats, so they took the coats off the White House cooks and had the doctors wear the cook jackets to make it look like they were wearing lab coats. Remember that? But anyway, so the Secretary of Defense, Biden's Secretary of Defense, he gets off the airplane. He's fully vaccinated. He's wearing a mask that's covering up his whole face, and he's wearing one of those clear welding-like coverings that a lot of people wear, the plexiglass welder's hat, over that. And, I mean, what kind of message does this send about how tough our military is? Looks pretty cowardly to me. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
What's up, Sandra?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Just calling and listening to what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene and the two others trying to see the prisoners in the White House. I shouldn't call them. I mean, they're in D.C. They will end up with Stockholm syndrome because who knows how often they're getting interrogated every day. So when they are finally let loose with the Stockholm syndrome,
there'll be liberals.
It's the prisoners that are in the
the Stockholm syndrome. So they'll be turned into Democrats, is what you're saying?
No, that when they come out and if they do any interviews or anything, they're going to say that they were completely taken care of. They were treated with respect.
Oh yeah, like the videos of the prisoners that the North Vietnamese held during the war. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I want to apologize to the peaceful people of North Vietnam. Yeah, it'll be one of those things. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I can't believe that they locked them out of the building.
Yeah, and for the media not to have that as the primary story in the news cycle yesterday, when it wasn't just Right Side Broadcasting there was a Fox guy there with them, and there were other reporters too, and they had a press conference with a lot of people there, and there was a true media. Now again, I don't like to do disclaimers. The breach was wrong, and the people that went in there broke the law, okay? But come on, we're talking about vandalism and trespassing. We're not talking about ISIS, and they're being treated worse. When we had those Al-Qaedas were first rounding up, who was that jerk, the Attorney General for Obama that did all the Clinton pardons? Eric Holder. His law firm was representing Al-Qaeda. The ACLU were representing Al-Qaeda. You know, when they were incarcerated in Guantanamo in the early days, it was a big deal. These people here, I see their attorneys on Newsmax a lot interviewed, and they seem like good guys, but they're not top-tier Washington attorneys at the Eric Holder level. They're like, have you seen no decent, because a lawyer, these top lawyers are afraid to represent them, they won't get any more work. And you see, and the lawyers all seem like nice people, but you can tell a lot about a lawyer by his suit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Steve? Like attorney Barry Siegel, he has nice suits, man. You know, I mean, and they're classy, nice suits. These guys that I'm seeing, they look like used car salesmen. Some of these guys that I'm seeing representing these breachers.
If these had been 3 Democratic Congresspeople that were done that way, it would be all over the...
And you know what? And it should be. And it should be.
You know, it's even been in the international news.
And as it should be. Yeah, and I would say that it should be. You know, these, you know, come on. Yeah. Come on, man. You know, this story yesterday about Biden saying he used to drive an 18-wheeler. It came out last night where the story came from. Greg Kelly, who last night... Greg Kelly's got the best show in cable. He's better than Tucker. Sorry, Tucker. He is really good. He's really good. I'm glad I got you over there to Newsmax, because... Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. But anyway, he had an article from the 70s from a local paper, I guess, New Hampshire, or Delaware, where Biden's from. And he rode as a passenger in a semi-truck like 500 miles one day. He was a passenger in an 18-wheeler. And he has somehow turned that into he drove an 18-wheeler. You know, and it just was very strange when he said that to that guy yesterday. I used to drive one of these, man.
Understand this is with all his lies that he tells, all his racial slurs, all of his talking where he put black people down, how they can still support people.
Well, listen, it's not MAGA calling Joe Biden a racist. Kamala Harris said that he was a segregationist. I was that girl. He was opposed to busing. He was in favor of segregation, and I was the first of the black in my school. I was that because of him. Kamala Harris said he was a racist segregationist who opposed the integration of the public schools. She was right. You know, in 1980, segregation was over in public schools, but private schools were still segregating. And Joe Biden, he was a senator then in 1980. He was advocating legislation that would allow private schools to continue to racially segregate in 1980.
Oh, I know that. But what I'm saying is, I can't see how the Democrats still back.
Because they watch CNN and they don't hear this stuff.
Kamala Harris, she didn't she not accept the fact that her father was black Jamaican for a very long time?
Oh, I think he was always black and Jamaican, not just for a period of time. All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call. Sorry. It's 8:01. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back for the third and final hour right after this.
1470 FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Steve Kane Show.
Online, friendlytire.net.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art.
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everybody in the chat room, do me a favor, like the video. Liking the video helps get this video recommended on the YouTube algorithm
Call us at 561-320
to other like-minded people.
561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
The distribution of your assets at the time of your passing. Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now.
All right, we are back. Third hour has begun 5 minutes after the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane, of course, is here, and this is the Steve Kane Show. I was talking to Tom Laporta about your roof, Steve. Okay, now, okay. Yeah.
I got to do a special shout out to Antonio and the guys on that crew. They finished up yesterday, and they left our whole home was immaculate. Like there wasn't a speck of dust anywhere. Lori, in the days when she was doing that kind of work, housework, never got it as clean as.
So Tom Laporta's crew actually left your house cleaner than when they entered it.
And if you'd seen it, what it looked like going in.
Oh, I know. It's a mess.
But I got to tell you, it was just.
Well.
What great artists and workmen Tom and the crew had.
Well, I was.
Were any kind of, because Tom, I just want to mention this.
Yeah.
Tom is a general contractor, as well as specializing in the roof painting, which he does, and the roof repair. He's also does other things that people in the construction business do. Give him a call. You're going to be very happy with him. Ask him about the Trump roof. That's I didn't get the Trump roof, but it's gorgeous. And
so what happened? They finished the inside with all that black mold. Oh.
And the outside, and they cleaned it immaculately. It was a great experience. Real professional.
Well, let me tell you, I haven't seen the inside yet, but I've seen the outside, and that roof. That new roof you have, you changed the style and type of roof that you have on your house. And I was telling you yesterday, when Tom Laporta sent me he sent me a video of the outside of the house, I thought it was the wrong house. It was so transformative, and not yet. It will be. But your house is going to be one of those houses where people stop on the street to look at it. That roof is an unbelievably beautiful roof. And it's a new style, a new type like you didn't have before, and it's just amazing. Listen, give Tom Laporta a call. We're in hurricane season, people, and if you see a wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak in your roof, and don't ignore it like Steve did. Okay, Steve just had to get a whole new roof. He had black mold throughout his home because of it. You may very well need just a simple repair. We had a listener call us a week or so ago who is with a condominium, and he before Tom Laporta was with us, he had a couple roofing companies come out. They told him that the condo needed a whole new roof. Tom Laporta went out there and needed a simple repair. It's amazing, isn't it? So, yeah, that's exactly what you're looking. Yeah, honesty. His number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. All right, back to the phones. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Okay. Hold on.
Yes.
You talking to me? Okay.
Yep. Yes.
Into the commercial. My name is Benny. I'm from Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
It's the first time I call you. I listen to your show pretty much every night. The other day, after I watched the TV, I wasn't a doctor, and I was watching the court with the police and all that. And you took the word out of my mouth about saying that they was calling the the people terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
That they are Americans, and that was one of the things I said, oh my God, I'm glad he just said that. I really enjoy your show, okay?
Well, you've got good taste in talk radio, I must say.
Yeah, I wanted to call you, but I work in the morning, so I know I have to get up at 6 o'clock or 6.
to call.
Oh, you're an overnight listener. Yeah, well, that's good. Well, hey, listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, take care. Take care. You know, I was just reading this story during the break. There are Republicans in Congress who have banded together and want the Republican Party to excommunicate Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger for participating in this January 6th witch hunt that Pelosi has put together. And, you know, I wish that there was, that we really do need something where we can purge. Like, I remember like years ago, like in the 80s, early 90s, David Duke was running around and he went and ran for state house in Louisiana as a Republican, you know, and you got this Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger crap going on. You know, it would be nice if we could, like in the church, excommunicate people, you know. I don't want Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger in the Republican Party. They're traitors.
Okay, I had it mixed up.
And what happens is you get these Benedict Arnolds, and then they say, oh, it's bipartisan because we have these Benedict Arnolds, or Bernadette Arnold in Liz Cheney's case, you know. And if we could just purge the party and take people's registration card away from them, I think that would be a good process to have inside the political party, because the Democrats, they always find useful idiots like this to make something sound bipartisan, or in David Duke's case, to try to destroy the Republican Party's reputation by finding some Klansman to go out and register as a Republican. It's really disgusting, these two people.
You're sharp enough to see through it. That's all. That's all you can do. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't go to the extremes they go to and use their methods because it destroys our credibility.
You know, Jill Biden is going to Walter Reed for some foot surgery. They didn't say what it is, but she's having something removed from her foot. So I don't know what Jill Biden. Dr. Biden. And I was just wondering, when she's in surgery, who is she handing the presidency over to? Who's going to be running the country while Jill Biden's in foot surgery today? I don't know who. But, you know, this committee hearing, though, in the January 6th breach, I don't know if they planned it this way or not, but they haven't had a second hearing yet. And I'm wondering if that was previously scheduled, or did they screw themselves by having such a fake hearing the other day that they haven't had any further, they're trying to put the other ones off for a while? Did they get so much negative feedback on that first display with the Capitol cops, did they put off having day two? Because that was just the opening day. I was expecting the next day to have another hearing. I thought it was going to last all week, and it's kind of gone away. I'm wondering if there's some regret in having that hearing the way they did it.
They've gone too far to back off now. I mean, the whole thing revolves around making Trump ineligible to run.
Yeah.
They're kind of...
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that they had such negative feedback, and this was amazing. This the Black Lives
syndicators.
Yeah.
Maintained their integrity. That's why that hearing didn't go so well for them.
Mm-hmm.
They had the proper people up there to refute the guards who testified.
Yeah.
And when you watched it over and over a couple of times and focused on the individual testimony, it was really obvious that it was phony.
Well, and then a lot of things have come out, in particular with the Black Lives Matter Capitol cop, the huge guy at the end, and one of his tweets came out. Adam Kinzinger, now keep in mind, he's a Capitol police officer, and his rank, they said his rank was private first class, so he's a low-ranking Capitol police officer. Adam Kinzinger, a Republican, and that, remember, he's Black Lives Matter, the cop. He tweeted a picture of himself with his wife in front of his private airplane on his birthday. And okay, of course, he's got to do it in front of the private plane, you know, being a man of the people. And the Capitol cop, the Black Lives Matter one, responded to the tweet, and he responded, "Happy birthday, Adam." He's on a first-name basis.
Familiar with each other.
Who's on a first-name basis? What Capitol police officer is on a first-name basis with a Republican congressman like that? It shows you how much collusion and how fake the whole thing is, you know. And I think they went so overboard with it at the hearing the other day that even they were embarrassed. They went too far. That's why I think they put it off for a while.
On the acute analysis.
Yeah.
Of the meeting, I hadn't seen any of that footage, and when you watch it with the sniffles and all that stuff, it's a joke.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Well, listen, our number is toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I want to tell everyone about Champagne Automotive Repair. You know, they work on all makes and models. They work on domestic. They work on imports. They work on your regular everyday vehicle. They work on commercial vehicles. They do it all. But I wanted to, in particular, Steve, talk about what they did to your son's air conditioning in his car. Because, you know, Champagne Automotive Repair, they'll never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle does not need. And Steve, I mean, they've done work on my daughter's car, my cars, but they did some work on Tyler's air conditioning. And Tyler has a Toyota Corolla. And it's got way over 100,000 miles on it, and the air conditioner basically was working very well as a heater. It was blowing nice and hot, just what you want in the wintertime in New York, okay, but certainly not in the summertime of Florida. And you were taking it over to Champagne Automotive Repair, and I said, Steve, when they look over that car, you got to really think, is it worth getting the air conditioning repaired, or should you just buy him a whole new car? Because, you know, those are the kind of decisions you get when you have an older vehicle. And it just needed a compressor. And, of course, their prices are right out of the 80s and 90s low. I mean, they're really low prices over there at Champagne Automotive Repair. And I have never seen an auto repair shop just replace a compressor. They always tell you, you need a compressor. Oh, yeah, you got a leak here. You got a leak there. You got to get, you know, and they didn't do any of that. Just a compressor, which is what I thought it might be that, but it's got to be more. Boom, simple repair, low-cost repair. And that air conditioning unit is blowing ice cold Arctic air. I mean, it's just what you want in July and August in the South Florida heat. So if your air conditioner in your car is not as cold as you would like it to be, give Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca a call. Have them look. They do everything, by the way, not just AC work, but that's just what Steve most recently had done to his son's car. The number over there is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, Carl.
Days, turn your radio to Richard Pearl on politics. Unfiltered, unapologetic, always controversial. Richard Pearl tells it like it is. No topic is off limits. This is talk radio like it should be. You've known him as a master of nutraceuticals. Now, listen to Richard Pearl as you've never heard him before.
Steve Kane Show.
On politics. High noon weekdays on this
hey, Barry.
station. Be there.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, and we are back. And on the line, Steve, we have attorney Barry Siegel. Hey, Barry.
Good. How are you doing?
Excellent. Excellent.
Well, that's great. Steve, so people do a good job as far as getting their estate planning done, and even if you have something, it's better than nothing. However, a lot of us out there may have plans that we did ourselves, where we went online and we did it through some online program, or maybe we did go to an attorney, but this is an attorney who does family law or foreclosure or something else, and they were doing us a favor. And the thing is, do we really know what it is that we have in our plan? When's the last time we checked? How confident are we that this plan is going to help us at the time we need it? The time we need it would be time of disability or the time that we're no longer here. And how is it going to affect our family? And that's why on your show we offer a free review of your current estate plan so that you know what it is you have and you know what you may need to do to potentially improve it if you need to.
Yeah, and the internet is a deadly thing. People go to the internet for life-changing legal advice and medical advice, and that's not the place to go. And if you've ever been to one of Attorney Barry Siegel's workshops, you know what I'm talking about, because there's so many different scenarios that you're not going to find by doing a Google search, I promise you. Now listen, give Attorney Barry Siegel's office a call for that free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. They'll review your current estate plan if you have one. If not, though, you still get that free consultation. The number, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. And remember, he reviewed, remember when Attorney Barry Siegel reviewed your trust, Steve, and found out your trustee was dead. Your grandkids weren't in there, and it would have been a disaster. And of course, Barry reviewed it at no charge and fixed all those problems. So give him a call. All right. I am the executor of about 6 trusts. I don't know why that is, but I am the executor of about 6 different trusts. And one last thing I want to mention. Attorney Barry Siegel does something which was a great relief to me because I am the executor of Steve's trust. Barry, tell people what happens. You offer a free consultation for the trustee, the executor, so they know what to do with the trust after the passing of the person.
A couple of things. First of all, every client, and even when you come to a seminar, we give a document that's a checklist of things for the trustee to do in case of incapacity or death of the trust maker. And also, we do a free post-death consultation because trustees usually don't know what to do. Usually they don't have much experience doing this, so we will guide them as to what they need to do.
Yeah, and that's great, and it's something that I'll be doing one day with these 6 trusts. That I'm a very trustworthy guy. So give Attorney Barry Siegel's office a call. Again, the number 855-FLA-3782. Attorney Barry Siegel, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week. All right. All right. Take care. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Brian and Steve, this is Carl in Columbus.
Hey, Carl.
Oh, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Hey, I was just thinking when I was watching the Capitol Police hearing, if Kevin McCarthy would have allowed the Republicans to participate in an official January 6th commission, we would have had all the Republicans that we wanted on there asking tough questions, but since he refused to take part in that, he kind of allowed this little Democrat kangaroo court to go on, and I'm thinking that originally I thought that he was smart not to take part in it, but now I'm thinking that he didn't want the.
Now Steve gets upset every time I bring this up. Kevin McCarthy's working with Pelosi against Trump. Yeah, Carl.
I think Pelosi. I think Kevin McCarthy refused to take part in that original.
Wesley, $5 super chat.
Commission,
Good morning, Brian. The Capitol
like
breaches is another say. Yeah. You're right.
A one-sided hearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know it's tough. It's tough to accept, but it's true. And this fake This fake feud between Pelosi and McCarthy's comical. Calling him a moron the other day. Give me a break.
I was listening to Bannon's War Room the other day, and they were thinking the same thing. They were thinking that it was a big mistake not to take part.
Well, it wasn't a mistake if you're working against President Trump, which Kevin McCarthy is doing.
Right.
In my opinion, Steve doesn't agree, but that's okay.
Right.
And I got to tell you, Carl from Columbus, Ohio. Steve, in Columbus, Ohio, the snowflake left-wing mayor took down the statue of Christopher Columbus from City Hall because they haven't changed the name of the city yet, but Christopher Columbus is offensive, so the mayor of Columbus took down the statue of Christopher Columbus. And where'd they put it? The garbage dump? Where'd they put it?
They put it in storage somewhere.
And let me tell you, I used to drive by that statue every day on the way to school. That statue is huge. It's made like a bronze. Hey, take care. It's like made of bronze, but Christopher Columbus, he started all this, colonization, all these terrible things. Liberals are just whacked, man. There's just I don't know. Liberals today are worse than they've ever been, Steve. You know what it is? These nuts that we talk about used to be fringe in the Democrat Party. Now they're mainstream. That's the big difference.
It's an accurate description. I agree with you on that.
I don't know how it happened, but that's they're fringe. There used to be this.
You don't have to wonder how it happened. They push. It's the old story. They push. They push until one day they push too hard and they go through the wall.
Well, there used to be this thing where people would talk about Republicans and Democrats this way, that in the primaries, when you're trying to in a primary, you're trying to get activists to vote because there's low turnout, and Democrats would cater to these fringe lunatics in the primaries, and then when the real deal happened, they would talk to the adults. And now these fringe lunatics, some of them are in Congress now. Like Tlaib and Omar and AOC.
It's funny. When Omar and the herd, what do they call that group?
The squad.
Squad. When they came in, I didn't take them seriously. I said, what's this young kid going to do to make a mark in the midst of a complex legal procedure where everybody around her knows more about the material than she does? And I was wrong. The thing had more. That's why you got to be careful. You can't take anything for granted nowadays. You just can't.
Well, I saw yesterday Susan Sarandon was protesting AOC's in New York yesterday. Yeah. Vanessa Dow Super Chat, thank you. McCarthy's a rhino, no doubt. I remember during the Occupy Wall Street movement, Susan Sarandon showed up. Do you remember this? And the kids there at Occupy Wall Street didn't know who she was, Susan Sarandon. And it was really embarrassing. She stood there she pulled up in a limo and got out, walked up to the Occupy Wall Streeters. No one even said anything to her. Like, if it was me, I'd be like, oh, Susan Sarandon, let me take a picture. And so when she led this protest in front of AOC's office, AOC may not know who Susan Sarandon is. When's the last time she had the last movie I remember her in was that one with Sean Penn where he was on death row and she was a nun, and that was like 25 years ago.
Remembered for Damn It, Janet.
Yeah. Well, that's not what we say when we watch Rocky Horror Picture Show in person. That's not what you say. When you're singing along to the song, you don't say, damn it, Janet, I love you. You say, damn it, Janet, I want to do something else. You never went to the Rocky...
Brought Rocky Horror Show to Florida.
Well, you did. Did you do it when they had the cast reenacting it in front and the audience goes along?
Florida performance.
Well, they weren't doing it right then. If they weren't saying, I can't say on the radio what the rest of it is, I don't think. But somebody out there will know. You say, damn it, Janet, I want to, and it's not I love you, it's something else. I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show like 100 times with the cast and everything. Yours was doing it wrong then. I'm sure yours was doing it wrong. Is that still a thing, Rocky Horror Picture Show? I think, is it?
Yeah, every once I see it. There's a midnight showing actually down in my area a little bit. I wouldn't mind going to see that again.
Oh, yeah, Thelma and Louise is what she's most known for, yeah. Thelma and Louise, which is an awful movie. That's what Susan Sarandon's most known for.
If you haven't seen Rocky Horror, make it a...
You know, it's an awful movie, Steve. That's why the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the only reason that it's good is when you have the cast reenacting it and the audience.
It's got a great score, fabulous.
Oh my goodness!
Great humor, wonderful satiric acting.
The fun is the interaction with the audience. Nah.
That's what you can't name another movie that captures that same ambience that Rocky Horror has.
You're the only person that watches it like at home without the reenactments. No.
Reenactments. I know the reenactments.
Do you know the reenactment when you're doing the time warp? Yeah. And then what's the next one? No. You don't know how to do it right. It changes at the end where everybody blank. I can't say it on the radio. You have not experienced the movie right, Steve. You got to go see it again. You got to go see it again at one of the shows. You don't know I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen it with the live performance in a long time, and I still remember. I saw it so many times. I remember all the not able to say on radio lyrics that the audience has. All right, listen, we've digressed. We'll take our break for the bottom and get back to the issues. But no, you have not experienced it properly yet. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. When we get back, we'll take some more calls, get into some more topics. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire.
No, Steve doesn't know.
They have all the major
he
brands.
thinks he's experienced.
Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van. At the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire.Ese prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30
oh my gosh.
for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive.
Oh my goodness.
Give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. Hi, Brian Craig here. We've been telling you on the Steve Kane Show, for coronavirus testing, stop by any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. One of our longtime sponsors, Dr. Mitch Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, went to any lab test now of Boca for coronavirus testing this weekend, and he called in live on the radio to share his experience.
Listen, Brian, I have a great experience to tell you about. I went to any lab test now on Saturday to get COVID-19 tested. And it was awesome. We had a little experience where we had somebody in our close circle that tested positive after 10 days, by the way. Went and had a test. It took 10 days to get the results. We all went into a little bit of a panic, obviously. So we called up any lab test now. It was about maybe 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. They said, come on right on over. I was anonymous. I didn't announce myself. We went over there. We got there about noon. We checked in. 2 minutes later, they took us back, did our test.
Wow.
We sat in the waiting room for less than 15 minutes. They brought us back, gave us our results, which were negative, and we were on our way home. And a little shout out to Brittany, the nice young lady who did our test. It was completely painless. It was quick, it was simple, it was easy, and it gave you both the IgM and the IgG antibodies, which tells you if you have the infection now or if you've been exposed to it in the past.
Now, you went to any lab test now of Boca?
Boca Raton, yeah, in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Awesome.
It was awesome. Well, it really was. It was cool. And it's easy, it's simple, and I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Forget this 10-day nonsense.
Doctor recommended. Can I say that in the commercial now? Doctor recommended. Any lab test now with Boca
There you
Raton.
go. Doctor recommended. Yeah, it was really kind of cool, and it was wonderful, and it was easy. And listen, to that end, go over and get tested. This is the test you want to get. It tells you point blank, did you have it, do you have it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's great. So Dr. Mitch Matez personally recommending any lab test now of Boca. You heard Dr. Mitch Matez. Any lab test now of Boca is doctor recommended for coronavirus testing. They're located in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441. Give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
Oh, man, I can't share this on the air. But I just got a huge story. Something big was just told to me a moment ago, Steve, that I cannot share on the air, unfortunately. Yeah, no, it involves. Well, I'll have to tell you after the show. It involves the conversation we had off the air about an hour ago. It involves that. The conversation we had off the air. So that's okay. So yes, we had a conversation we had off the air about an hour ago. It involves that.
Fact, based on your position and my position, who does it prove right?
No, it doesn't prove either of us right or wrong. It's related to the individual, not the other thing. But I know I'm being cryptic, but I have no choice right now. I have no choice, but you'll find out about it soon. I cannot discuss it due to your edict, but I'll tell you at 9. I'll call you after the show and let you know. But I wish I could, because we would be talking about this for the next 22 minutes. That's when the show's over. But I'm sorry, I can't share with you, but it's a big story.
Yes, do.
The mystery. People are wondering what it is, but it's pretty big.
What I'd like to know is, it's Friday.
Yes.
I've tried to make it a little unofficial ritual every Friday that we check to see what press events Donald Trump is doing over the weekend. Do you know?
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen anything.
It's up to you out there. We have the largest Donald Trump audience, I can tell you that. If you know of any appearances, whether it's on television or live or whatever it is, let's spread the word if you know of anything.
Yeah.
Go Kane 1.
Yeah, I tell you, these Democrats are real little. When I call you at 9, you'll be pissed at the Democrats. Now, there's a story in Newsweek, though, that I can talk about. And I know, but I know I'm just a little distracted because I can't talk about this one thing. But this is a good story, though, here. Everyone will eventually know about it. I just got a preview of something that is going to break, maybe today. Yes, yeah, but sometime, yeah. I don't know. If we were talking about it in detail, we could discuss whether it's good or bad. But good or bad will be in the ears of the beholder, because whoever's hearing us talk. Well, I don't know. When I call you after the show, we'll decide if it's good or bad for us, for them, for the country. Maybe. Sometimes, Steve and I have a lot of sources and friends and contacts, most of which do not want people to know that they know us. And if we meet them in person, it's usually in the back private room at Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs, because with the lights off in the back in the middle of the day, and nobody, and then they lock the door in the private room so nobody, sees them with us. But no, I got something. I don't know. I'm a little. The more I think about it, I'm more concerned about this story. But I'll call you afterwards and we'll talk. But there's a story in Newsweek though that we can talk about, and this is some good news. It involves Liz Cheney. Let me read the article. I have to stand about 3 to 5 feet away from the article so I can see it, since I broke my reading glasses. But former President Donald Trump's strategy to oust Representative Liz Cheney from office is to rally Republicans around one candidate. Darren Smith is who it looks to be, and there's a new poll out among likely Republican primary voters in Wyoming, and the opponent that President Trump is backing in Wyoming is beating Liz Cheney. He has 70% of the likely voter support among Republicans, which is important because it's a primary. 70%. She has 20. The other 10 is split among the other people that are probably working for her to try to split the anti-Cheney vote. But that's huge, yeah. Which means now that poll has happened, that means the Republican establishment are going to try to discredit this guy. But that's good. I'm really worried about Liz Cheney winning in Wyoming because I just don't see them letting her lose. I just don't see them letting her lose. And there's like 5 people running, and the anti-Cheney vote I just don't want to be split. Listen, this guy that Trump is backing in Wyoming, you can just assume now we're going to start hearing terrible things about this guy. It doesn't matter. Whatever you hear about him, all you need to listen to is Trump, who's telling you to vote for him. Everything else is going to be coming out of the political establishment to try to discredit him so Liz Cheney can be reelected in that primary, because if she loses the primary, that's it, right? And whoever wins it's like New York City with the Democrat primary. Whoever wins this primary in Wyoming will win the race. So you're going to start hearing a lot of terrible things about the Trump-backed candidate in Wyoming. Don't believe it, and it doesn't matter if we find out it's true. Just support and vote for whoever. There's nothing this guy could be involved in when they come up with something that could be as bad as having Liz Cheney in the Congress. Nothing. I don't care what they come up with. Liz Cheney's a bad guy, bad person.
For example, in the Democratic Party, the person you love to hate is Nancy Pelosi. You don't think there's an advantage to a party villain?
In the Republican Party? No. No. Because if Liz Cheney wins the primary, it'll hurt us overall in the midterms, because if Donald Trump's backing a lot of candidates, if every candidate wins except the one against Liz Cheney, the narrative will be Trump's lost. He's lost his touch. Liz Cheney. It's a referendum on Trump. MAGA's over. The media narrative would be that Trump lost, even if he wins every race but hers. She is the most important person. That is the most important race for Trump to win, is the Liz Cheney Wyoming race. Now, the mask here in Florida, the great governor Ron DeSantis issued an executive order that local governments cannot order mask mandates. He's ordered this. Now, private businesses can, like this Walmart that our listener ran into this morning, got tossed out of. But local governments have issued mask mandate orders defying Governor DeSantis' order. And it looks like the Broward County School Board is defying Ron DeSantis in requiring masks. So, this is, the mask mandates are coming back. I mean, they're coming back. It says here, why?
You want something to unite around, you're going to have the whole population of every parent in the world is going to be outraged at this.
It says here, Broward County Public Schools will require masks during the fall semester. And
holy hell will break out.
Okay. So you think it helps us? Obviously. Okay.
Friends, you don't want to have a whole bunch of races like that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lose that one.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Well, now DeSantis, now that Broward County School Board has defined Ron DeSantis' order and requiring masks in the public schools, when Ron DeSantis says that will not be the case, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what. Never again. Yeah, exactly. The Jews. But this is going to be a big battle with Ron DeSantis. He had a big press conference yesterday saying there will not be mask mandates in the public schools of Florida, and now Broward County's boom.
Contact him and.
I will definitely do that. Now listen. One thing that you all can do is over the weekend, starting today at lunchtime, is go to Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs. Oh man. My mouth's watering already, Steve, thinking about those medium hot wings. Oh man. Now they have more than medium hot wings. They have wings of every flavor that you can imagine. The teriyaki. Have you ever had the teriyaki? Oh, you got to try those, Steve. Oh, I love teriyaki, but the teriyaki at Wings Plus is out of this world. Steve goes for the lemon pepper, but they have a long list of different kind of wings you can get. I usually get the medium hot wings, which are my favorite. They also have incredibly good fresh made soups and chilies. Everything homemade at Wings Plus on Sample Road, by the way, including the sauces for the wings, all homemade on the spot. The clam chowder homemade, which is very, very good. You were telling about the lobster bisque.
Lobster bisque.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Wings Plus in Coral Springs is located on Sample Road, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. All right, we'll take our last break of the day and then come back with the Gold Report, so don't go anywhere. All right, I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
I'm Dr. Janae.
I'm Alan Knight.
You love listening to Steve Kane and Brian Craig for your daily dose of political pandemonium. Now you need a cure for the resulting anxiety and depression. Join us for the perfect prescription to help you cope with the world.
Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday nights at 11.
If you want answers about love, anger, pain, and relationships, join us for your chance to call in and share your stories, tears, or laughs. Take the opportunity to tell me what's on your mind.
The Steve Kane 2022 MAGA Cruise is a go. Leaving January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, for 9 nights cruising the Caribbean. We will stop in Grand Cayman Island, Bonaire, Curacao, and Aruba. Reserve your cabin right now and call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back. The exciting moment that everybody looks forward to each day at this time on the Steve Kane Show. Of course, we're talking none other than the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman, Inc. William, one of the world's leading experts when it comes to all of the precious metals. He has an unbelievable expertise, and if you've been following his advice, as I have, you're probably pretty happy about it. Let's see how things look this morning. William, what's up?
Gold. Gold is up yesterday. Big move yesterday, breaking out of the doldrums that we've been in for the summer at the trading ranges that have been almost boring. But we finally broke through and got up to over $1,830 yesterday, closing out the day up $20.20 at 1827.70. Silver closed up 53 cents at $25.48 the ounce, while platinum was down $5 at $1,055, and palladium was up $16 at $2,580. Question is, will the rally hold? And that remains to be seen. Right now, gold trading overnight between 1825 and 1832, and right now gold is at $1,825. That's down $2.70. Kind of expected after a rally like that, but we'll see. The main thing is that we need to hold around these 1820s area to sustain this rally, to really get some a real confirmed breakout here. Silver is up 2 cents right now at $25.50 the ounce. Gold is $18.25 right now, down $2.70. Platinum down $20 at $1,035, and palladium up $10 at $2,590. So again, nice breakout for the metals. Mostly on the Fed speech that there is not going to be any change as far as interest rates are concerned, or any change in the policy, in the Fed's policy going forward, which is still very inflationary and very conducive for gold and the precious metals to go much higher. So that's pretty much where we are.
Or a buyer as well, if they have any items of jewelry, gold, silver, any kind of antique jewelry, tell them about it, William.
Sure. We for over 50 years, we've made a good two-way market in all of the precious metals, regardless of the form, whether it's old jewelry or new jewelry or diamonds, watches, anything you're looking to liquidate, we pay top dollar for it, give you a free appraisal as a Steve Kane listener, and pay you cash on the spot should you decide. Of course, all the precious metals in stock for immediate delivery for those interested in them.
Well, let me give out the number. Now, William Youngerman, his store opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. The number over there, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And the address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. Immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building in Boca. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk next week. All right, take care. Yeah, so you think this mask mandate helps us because it's like, if you want the masks off, vote Republican. Yeah.
Are extremely unpopular across the country.
Yeah.
From what I'm picking up, I don't see any constituency for the mask. There are those, the liberal Democrats that understand that what they're supposed to do in their own robotic trance is to blindly support the masks, but there's no enthusiasm for the masks.
Yeah.
But huge amount of sentiment out there.
Yeah. Then why do you think the Democrats push for it so much? And these Broward County, the Broward County School Board.
Why these people do what they do,
yeah.
Idea.
Yeah.
Although, I do have an idea, but, to tell you the truth, they're trying to get Trump disqualified.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know how the masks helps them with that. In Broward, how would that disqualify? How would that hurt?
Support the mask will
yeah
to the pro-mask.
Well, I don't even own a mask anymore, so I'm going to run into some difficulties getting tossed out of places. And the Broward County School Board requiring masks, school's going back in a couple weeks. This is the hottest, most humid time of the year, and it's difficult to breathe outside in Florida on a normal day. You put a mask on a kid all day, and and I didn't think about this till I was watching Governor DeSantis the other day, and I think I mentioned it to you, so many kids wear glasses, and with the mask on, the glasses are fogged up. They can't even see in the classroom. You know, and I know when I've had a mask on and I got my sunglasses on, they fog up. If I needed the glasses to see, it's just terrible what they're doing to kids. Terrible.
To see, it probably is too optimistic and probably won't come true.
What, with Susan Sarandon? No.
No, not about Susan Sarandon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
said fantasy. Huh?
I would like to see this affect the business like.
Yeah.
For the teachers unions mean nothing good.
Yeah.
Not only for the kids, but for the teachers as well.
Well, the teachers, most of the teachers are lazy and want to sit home in their pajama pants and not have to go to class. Now we have the most opinionated man at this radio station. I know it's hard to believe, more opinionated than we are, and that's Richard Pearl, whose show Richard Pearl on Politics airs weekdays at noon on our radio station. Richard Pearl, good morning. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know, we got a message from one of our listeners that was not allowed to enter Walmart this morning because they weren't wearing a mask. Can you believe that? That doesn't happen over at Simply Natural. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yep. No doubt. Now listen, Richard Pearl's weekday radio show, Richard Pearl on Politics, is on the radio weekdays at noon on our radio stations. And on the weekend, he does his health show, Pearls of Health. That's also on our radio stations, noon on Saturday and Sunday. So actually get Richard Pearl 7 days a week at noontime on our radio stations. His store, Simply Natural, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9, located in Sunrise. You throwing people out for not wearing masks over there at Simply Natural? Exactly. That's right. Just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University. The number over there, 954-741-4045. All right, have a great show, Richard Pearl. We'll talk next week. Steve, we have seconds left for you to sign us off.
Half of other half of the team. And we'll see you Monday. God bless America.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can we get a song? A song? No. You can't play music on YouTube. I don't start the YouTube until after I do this every day. You guys that just watch on YouTube don't know this, but I begin the show every day with a Trump song that is a parody of Van Halen's Jump. It's a pretty good song, but instead of Jump, it says Trump. It's a really good song. I start every show begins with that, but I can't play it on. Oh, you do not want me to sing. I'm the last person that you want to hear sing. I promise you that. Pretty bad. I'm the worst singer. You've heard of the Masked Singer? I'm the worst singer. All right, guys, take care. Make sure you like the video before you go. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe.